Hello and welcome to another episode of Beneath the Surface, where we take a few minutes to reflect on our inner world and the things in life that matter most. If you enjoy these short reflections, I hope you'll leave a comment and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on the new releases I'm putting out each week. Today we're talking about the idea of perspective. We've all heard the old story about the 5 blind men who came across an elephant. As they stretched out their hands, they each felt something completely different, and their descriptions of the elephant were nothing like each other. One was feeling a skinny, tall tail, and another its broad side, and another its giant flat ear, and another its smooth tusk, and another its very long and wrinkly trunk. We tend to get trapped into thinking that we have things figured out. But far too often, we're only seeing a small part of the whole. Well, today, we're going to start by listening to a short passage about perspective from the audio version of my book, Whispers in the Wilderness. And then at the end, I'll leave you with a few thoughts on it.
In perspective. Looking down from up on a mountain, everything seems so miniature. It is almost as if none of it is actually real. The farther up I step, the more insignificant it all seems. Roads and houses appear even smaller than letters on a page. Yet when I am down there, it all seems so large. If I stand too close, my problems feel like towering peaks ready to crumble on top of me. It appears that my perspective is not as objective as I would like to think. It is so influenced by where I stand and how I view things. In fact, even my varied perspectives are far from the only ways to see reality. Imagine the viewpoint of a microbe, an ant, a dog, a fish, a giraffe, an eagle, or even the Voyager spacecraft traveling at the edge of our solar system. They all perceive the world so very differently. None of them has a false perception, but they all are limited in their view of reality. Reality is far too complex for any one perspective to encompass it all. The cosmos stretches simultaneously in 2 opposite directions, and perhaps many more. It appears to extend almost infinitely on the macro scale, and so far, we've not seen an end to the micro scale either. So, what perspective should I hold? How should I view the reality of my situation? The only answer that makes sense to me is one of great humility. While there is much we do know, our perspective is biased and limited. While we continue to grow and learn, we must also embrace the mystery of never fully knowing.
The journey before us into a life of depth and wholeness seems to require deep humility. Without humility, that journey simply can't be made. From the time we were toddlers learning our words, we've been focused on knowing exactly what something is or how something works. Our educational system is built on finding the right answer. As a result of these formative years, we come to believe that there's just one right way of seeing everything. Yet living a life of certainty blocks our ability to see. We get stuck into perceiving everything through one small lens and miss the bigger picture that is unfolding around us. I find it interesting that the best scientists are not necessarily those who know all the answers, but rather those who have the most questions. Their curiosity compels them to keep looking at something from many different directions, enabling them to perceive with much greater fullness. Now, to make the journey towards a life of wholeness requires that we abandon our quick answers and simplistic ways of seeing things. It's a journey that requires deep humility and a learner's attitude. Yet, unlike a scientific study of physical phenomena, the internal journey will continue to evade our attempts to box it in and define it. As it pulls us ever deeper into itself and into ourselves, our world expands and our sense of awe and humility seems to grow. Eventually, we realize that we're caught up in something far greater than we can fully hold or understand. And so we must come to that point where we are ready to live inside the mystery.